You know, the purpose of the interview really is to understand more about the salvation, as you know, the EABIC pronounces the Black Christ Salvation with Joy and Peace internationally. So we want to understand what is salvation and how is the Black Christ salvation different from that of the Western world, the Roman Christianity and baptism and all of them things. How is the Bobo Shanti salvation different as far as the interpretation and the understanding of what salvation means to black people?
Give thanks. Our Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks.
My Lord.
So you look at the word salvation and you look at it, you see salve. Salvation is when you bring the good to a people that is needed for the people's existence, for the continuation of creation. Because it's salvation that rules creation. So therefore, if you are the leader in your house and your family is hungry and they need food, you go forth and you come for, they call it spoil, but it's not spoiled because if it's spoiled, it can't eat it. It's rotten. So you come back with the good for the family, you return for the good for your family. That is salvation. You've just solved the problem of hunger. You have just solved the problem of nakedness, shelterlessness. Salvation is to solve. It's a spiritual and temporal. Now, some people might think salvation, as in the earth, they think salvation is just clapping and singing. It's not clapping and singing. Clapping and singing is a key note and art to bring you to yourself. It's for the mind, the calmness of the mind. That's what the clapping and singing does. So it synchronizes your temporal movements with your spiritual movements. So the Bogo Shanti salvation now is we have to solve the problem of nakedness to our people, blindness that our people is in at the present moment. So the Black Christ salvation is the light to all, to take us, the people, from out of this darkness that black people are in right now, looking out of themselves. Because when you look at the ensemble of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards salvation, it's to take us out of this illusional world where we are looking for some God to come from the sky and save us instead of looking in ourselves. And that is what is needed for us to look into ourselves to solve our own problems. So rather than ever King Emmanuel Charles Edwards to come and show you that we have no other helper but our own. It's not the politician going to do it. It's us as a people have to do it for ourselves, our people. So the Black Christ salvation come to one and all. The first thing is to take us out of that God, out of the sky, and put us in ourselves. So I say, man of right is God in flesh. Men of wrong is Satan. Woman of right is goddess in flesh. Woman of wrong is Sataness in flesh. So I say, seek ye first the kingdom of God's salvation, and all things shall be added. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Sons and daughters, give me thine heart, and I'll give thee my Father's ever-living kingdom.
That's natural.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So we stand to redeem the motherland of Ethiopia. Our sons and daughters are scattered four winds of earth to righteousness of salvation.
So spiritually and temporally is the salvation, as far as even you said nakedness, shelterlessness is a two level, more than one level of being hungry, because there's the hunger for food, but also hunger for spiritual food, the manna from Zion.
Right.
So when it comes to now the priesthood order, what role really does the priest have to the masses of black people to give them the salvation, If that makes sense.
It makes sense. There's nothing that doesn't make sense. Everything makes sense. It's a reason why
Just trying to tie it all together so that
Give
the people
thanks, man.
that's viewing that, because not everybody knows really the ins and outs of the Bobo Shanti order, so trying to make it as simple as possible and as clear and understandable as possible.
Pardon me, give thanks, my dad.
Yes,
Never
sir.
give thanks. You know, because, you know, he say God is his own interpreter and he make it plain.
Mm-hmm.
Understand, sir? First of all, again, give thanks to the eye. Give thanks to the work that you're doing. It is recognizing God in flesh and God doing a work. Seeing the God in each other. Right? So that is what the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards come with. Now the Bobo Shanti order, the priesthood order, brings forward that salvation to the world of people. Because the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards teaches us that, remember, it is not, when they say Bobo Shanti, some people might just look at Bobo Shanti just as the man with the locks and think it stopped at wearing the locks. But there's something beyond wearing the locks that you have to see the vision. The locks is there. The robe and the turban is there. But what is beyond that? What is within that flesh? What is the works of that individual? So the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards teaches us that he comes to seal up Marcus Mosiah Garvey works. And Marcus Mosiah Garvey work is the redemption of Africa, the salvation of Africa. If you go to a service, right? When you go to a service, you hear the teachings, because it's not about just singing. When you look at Melchizedek order, it's an order that is speaking and giving life. It's a spiritual and physical order. It's an order that doesn't teach you out of yourself. So we come show that it's 144,000 saints, women and children numberless on the sand of the seashore. But it's all of us have to do it. So continually the priesthood order is still showing your God in flesh. Continue to show us self-reliance, self-awareness. Africa is for the Africans, those that own us abroad. Our only development, 7, 9 or 30 miles of high watership in the Western world. That's what we demand from the heads of government. But we demand also from ourselves to continue the works of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. If ships were underwater, we have the ships to put it in order. Continually the priesthood order is sending the word to let it sink so deep within that Africa is for the Africans, those at home and us abroad. That's the words of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And that is the thing that when you look at Rastafari in this time, you don't hear many Rastafari speaking about Africa like once. And Father Moses come to bring to remembrance. And continually, it's self-reliance, self-awareness, walk black, talk black, eat black, a black man redemption. We have no one else to depend on but ourselves. And that's what we want the world of black people to realize in this time. That's the awakened spirit of he that is in the wilderness. We are calling upon the people to come together in one fulfillment of themselves. And knowing that man of right is God in flesh. We stand for one nation, one people. Africa is for the Africans, those at home and us abroad. And that's what we're telling black people this time, the salvation of black people. For black people to understand themselves. They have to return to their true identity. And as long as Melchizedek order walks the ends of the earth, it will not stop until it stirs up your mind continually. Let you know that the only solution is freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. No matter what we're doing down here, it's a practice. The aim is the motherland. And that's what we come to remind all flesh. And we do not want black people, Bobo Shanti, or the Rastafari to get carried away of whatever we might be doing in the Western world. Do not get carried away. The aim, the objective, the goal to resurrect all priests, all prophets, the entire nation. It's to rally under the banners of the red, black, and green, red, gold, and green, black 5-point star, our symbol, lion crowned symbol, respectively. It is time now that the earth must be still and hear the voice of the Most Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards and what he has to say for redemption of black people.
Speaking through the priests.
Through the priests, because the 7 priests, 7 angels speak for one man. Melchizedek's order is the one in 7 and 71. It's the last trumpet, as Revelation speaks, the 7 spirits of God around the throne of God. That's why it's an ever-living priest with order, because the priest with the order of Melchizedek have no rest day and night. No rest day and night. No rest day and night. If you understand the fulfillment of what is going on in the ends of the earth right now, it's that calling for, even as we doing the interview, it's calling for all priests. Understand what is going on in the ends of the earth. Understand what is happening to black people, the flesh that are fallen, the children that are fallen, and realize that only the black Christ salvation can heal the nation. Because a sick world of mind that black people has found themselves in. And it's to humble themselves and return to the day of order, the Sabbath day, to find a humility in oneself. Because the foundation of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards' kingdom is the Sabbath. And the priests must uphold the principles of the Sabbath law. Pardon, thanks,
My Lord.